Hello and welcome to the Daily Comic and Collectible, episode 287. Now today, the collectible of the day is the Hasbro Galoob Marvel Heroes Titanium Series Die-Cast Metal Green Goblin statue with display case. The Green Goblin is obsessed with the destruction of Spider-Man, and nothing less will suffice. And he's more than up to the task. He's gifted with superior strength, reflexes, and speed to match, plus a healing factor that allows him to survive catastrophic injuries, as well as an advanced intelligence. Despite his raving insanity, he's incredibly patient, capable of far-reaching plots decades in the making. He has meddled in every landmark event in Peter Parker's life, from the death of his first love to more recent tragedies and revelations. This Marvel Heroes Marvel Comics Titanium Series statue of the Green Goblin in all his evil glory atop his glider with pumpkin bomb in hand is ready to wreak havoc on Spider-Man, no matter the cost. This posable statue is finely detailed and hand-painted and completely made from die-cast metal. Comes in a display base with the Green Goblin's name emblazed across the front. The figure alone stands a full 4 inches in height, and statue comes with its own display case for complete protection from dust and debris. Keep the dust out or keep the Goblin in. You decide which is more important. Released by Hasbro Galoob in 2006. Now, the comic of the day is Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 49, with a cover date of November 2020. This was the supersized Legacy issue number 850, celebrating 850 issues of Amazing Spider-Man. This is also part of the Sins Rising arc. I will be covering the first 3 stories, titled The Return of the Green Goblin, parts 1, 2, and 3, with story by Nick Spencer, art by Ryan Ottley, Humberto Ramos, and Mark Bagley, and this is the Unknown Comics exclusive trade variant by Kyle New. When Norman talked about how he once viewed Peter like the son he never had, Peter held back his rage against the monster who took so much of his life, so that Norman can take a Goblin formula and re-equip his Green Goblin gear. When fighting Sin Eater's nigh-immortal followers, Peter's conscience screams that he stopped Norman there and now, knowing full well he'll take more from him yet again. Elsewhere, the Order of the Web hold back per Julia's command, explaining to Anya that they're waiting for Sin Eater to cleanse Norman before intervening. With the group's unease over Peter's alliance with Norman in the fight, Gwen voiced a change of opinion, asking they don't stop Sin Eater and help save Norman. As Spider-Man is being overwhelmed, Stanley returned, endowed with Juggernaut's immeasurable strength to fight Norman and Peter. The two begin their attack, but find little effort in their newly unstoppable foe. As Spider-Man knows Norman would have a backup plan within a backup plan, Goblin elaborates his underground river escape, further proving Spider-Man's distrust. While not the time to discuss, Goblin deploys hidden rocket launchers from the walls to buy time for their retreat to lower levels. Due to years of animosity, neither have coordination, forcing Spider-Man to collapse the floor and send them falling to their waypoint. Meanwhile, Gwen argues that their intervention is not their choice to make, but Peter's, as he is fighting his own demons, and he has more than earned the right to make his own choices. She finishes with the group's understanding that something is behind Sin Eater, and that should they interfere, something worse could happen. Gwen finishes by asking for a vote on what to do. Under the fallen rubble, Norman reminds Peter of when they met, as Spider-Man and Green Goblin unmasked, how Peter rejected him. Norman clarifies, in that moment, his Goblin formula has made him lost and shattered. Now his twisted mind only wanted Peter to love him like a father. Since then, Norman hated Peter, even the times he was saved by him, feeling indebted Norman thus repaid Peter by removing the rubble from him and helping him to his hidden base. Peter finds an EMP bomb strong enough to black out half of the East Coast, but Norman again diverts focus to their escape as Sin Eater catches up to them. When Spider-Man remembers how he fought the real Juggernaut, he has Norman set the EMP to cause liquefaction in the concrete beneath. Once Norman activates the altered EMP, Spidey holds Sin Eater long enough for the ground to liquefy and bury them. As Peter sinks, content he saved others and did the right thing, he remembers MJ and chooses to survive. However, Norman hovers over him, atop his glider, narrating that he made plans to make a spectacle of Spider-Man's demise, but takes a win by simply drowning Peter in concrete. Thankfully, the Order arrives to rescue Peter, explaining their presence and vacating on Norman's escape boat. Aiming to exit in the Hudson, Peter plans to hide Norman first before finishing Sin Eater, but they are distracted by Norman's perverse sniffing around Gwen. Pleased to see Gwen alive, or at least her doppelganger, Norman comments about her and the people around Peter make him break. Knowing Norman won't stop killing people he loves, he makes a different choice and throws Norman out to be prey for Sin Eater, with Julia commenting that it's now too late for him. Elsewhere, an understanding Kindred doesn't blame Peter for his actions, seeing one wrong to do so much right. In his cemetery, Kindred narrates that Peter still hasn't learned the lesson that his sins never stay buried. Geek Fact: this is considered a key issue, being the return of Norman Osborn as the Green Goblin, and being the 850th issue anniversary, with a total of 6 stories, 3 involving the Green Goblin. Bonus Geek Fact: Stanley Carter was a SHIELD agent who volunteered for an experimental drug increasing strength and stamina, but it made him crazy, leading him to becoming the serial killer known as the Sin Eater. He was eventually killed by the NYPD SWAT team. While being punished in hell for his sins, Carter was resurrected by the Kindred twins, Sarah and Gabriel Stacy, 2 demonic entities bent on getting even with Spider-Man. The Kindreds granted him an enchanted shotgun, granting him the ability to absorb the wickedness and powers of whoever he shot. Stanley Carter's first appearance was in Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, issue number 107, from October 1985. Another bonus geek fact: the Order of the Web is a team of spider-themed superheroes assembled by Madam Web to assist Spider-Man in the fight with the demon known as Kindred. Current members include Aranya, Ghost Spider, Madam Web, Silk, and Miles Morales Spider-Man. Their first appearance was in Amazing Spider-Man: The Sins of Norman Osborn, issue number 1, from September of 2020. And final geek fact: the Green Goblin's secret identity was Norman Osborn. The Green Goblin's first appearance was in Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 14, from April of 1964, while his first appearance as Norman Osborn wasn't until Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 23, released in January of 1965. Well, I'd like to thank you for joining me for another Daily Comic and Collectible, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. This is CatFan ComicsMan, and I'll catch you on the flip. Over and out.